Welcome to Math Plus, where math makes sense. In this video, we'll be finding the volume of composite rectangular prisms. First of all, what is a volume? We're going to review a little bit here. Volume is the inside measurement, and it can be like the inside of a moving van, the inside of a box, and the measurement of the inside of a swimming pool. Think of anything that you need to know how much space is inside of it so you can put something in it. Now, today we're only going to focus on rectangular items, which you can see would be like the back of a box, the moving van, and the box over here. What is a rectangular prism? A rectangular prism is something that is shaped like a rectangle, and it's three-dimensional. Three-dimensional means it has more than just one side. A flat piece of paper with a rectangle drawn on it would be called two-dimensional. Flat, one slide, one plane. And this here, you can see three-dimensional. It's something that we use in everyday life, things that we can touch, fill up, and use. In our last video, we went over unit of measurement using cubic units, and then we jumped over to learning how to find the volume of a rectangular prism, and it's just one prism. And just for a quick review, to do that, we had to multiply the length right here by the width by the height, and then we got our volume. What happens if it looks like this over here? This is called a composite rectangular prism. Now, normally when you see a composite rectangular prism, you're not going to see it in two different colors. Typically, it's all one color. And you're like, well, how am I supposed to figure that out? There's too many measurements. And what we're going to be doing is looking at a composite rectangular prism, and we're going to put an invisible line and make it into two. So here you can see there's two rectangular prisms. You just figure out the volume of each one and then add it together. We're going to do one together, and then we're going to have two practice ones where you can try for yourself. So why do I have two pictures here? Because there's two different ways that you can break these up. Over here, I could put an invisible line right here, and you can see that prism A, I could figure out the volume for that. And then prism B. Let's just go ahead and do this one first, okay? And then I'll show you on the other one how we could do it a different way. Now, you have to do a little bit of math, a little bit of figuring. They're actually fun. It's like figuring out a puzzle, and it's really rewarding when you can do something complicated, something hard, and then say, oh, I figured that out. It's fun, okay? So we have our length times our width. So we have 12 times 22, which equals 24. Now my height. Here's a place where many people will make a mistake. They go over here and go, oh, the height is 10. No, we're only doing B, right? We're only doing B right now. So I have to take that 10 and figure out how much of it goes to B and how much of it goes to A. We have 10. Look over here. This is 3 millimeters. It already tells us right there. So because B is 3, then I'm just going to hurry up and put this up here for A. That means the other 7 go to A, okay, millimeters. So now I'm going to take 24 and multiply by 3. Now this is for B, and 24 times 3 is 72. 72 cubic millimeters. Let's do A. Now, sometimes it's good just to change the color of your pencil so it's easier to see what you're figuring out. So I got to get my width here and my length, right? So this, see where it's a 2? That's 2 millimeters right here. So I got that. Now I got to get this. I have 8. See how there's 8 right here? Well, how do I know how many are here? Well, there's 12 minus this 8, because see that long B, it's 12 millimeters all the way across. Stopping here is 8. That means there's 4 left over here. It is a lot of numbers, but you have to do it one piece at a time. Now I have 4 times 2, which is 8, times 7, which is 56. And I'm going to add these together and get my answer, which is 128 cubic millimeters. Okay, you want to write that out. Let's look at the other one. All right, so I cut it that up and down across there, right? I took that piece off the top. Well, I can also do it this way. See that? So now it looks like I have A is this big long one. You can also call them 1 and 2. You can call them whatever you want. I just call them A and B. Just realize you're doing 2. Now, you also could have sometimes 3 composite rectangular prisms in there. You have to look at your figure and figure it out. Again, so now I'm going to do A first. So let's see, I have my 10 millimeters here. I know that it's 4 here, because remember, 8 plus 4 is 12. And then this measurement across right here, I do it across, was a 2, okay? So that changes A to 10 times 2 is 20. 20 times 4 is 80. So A is 80 cubic millimeters. Let's do B. B, I have 8 times 2, which is 16. 16 times, here's my height, 3. 16 times 3 is 48. We're going to add it together. And look at this. Your answer is exactly the same. And that's what I wanted to point out to you. That both ways work. It comes up with the same answer. And you don't have to figure out both like I did. I just want to show you how either way is right. There is no wrong way to separate them. All right, on the next slide here, I want you to pick a way to cut this in half. Make it a part A and a part B, and then we'll come back. You do not have to do it both ways. When you come back, I will have both of these already solved for you, and then you can check your answer. Okay, I hope you paused it long enough to solve this. Decide which way that you went. Did you use the A and B the same as I did on the left? Or did you use the A and B the same way that I did on the right? And just focus on that. You may want to pause it again and just make sure if you didn't get 520 cubic inches, then look at it and see what you did wrong. Now, what I did to help you, the composite, rectangular composite, for instance, on the left side, A is all in yellow, and then I circled how and where I got all those 3 dimensions. So hopefully that will help you. One of the things that gets tricky, like look at B, when I went over here, my height, right? I can't use 12. It's different. What I had to do is take this 8 right here. See that? And then I had to subtract it from 12 and I got 4 here. So you have to do a little bit of math sometimes. And honestly, sometimes you're not given as many dimensions and you really have to think about it. But that's what makes it more challenging and more rewarding when you solve it. The same thing over here on the right side. I put them in 2 different colors. I circled them, and hopefully that helps you. Take the time to figure out what you did wrong if you got it wrong. I'm also going to put some worksheets at the in the description that have answer keys. So keep practicing so that you get better at it. And it's just a matter of taking your time and making sure you get the different numbers correct. Now, anytime we're talking about volume, even though I wrote it like this, inches with a little 3, the way you say it is 520 cubic inches. You want to say cubic inches, or you can write it out if that helps. Cubic inches. That's your unit of measurement. It's very important to get that correct. You have one more practice. There's 2 of them here. Again, do the same thing. Cut it the way that you think is, that you want to. There's 2 different ways you can do it. When you come back, I'll have both of them solved. Take your time, solve it, then come back. The answer to this one is 66 cubic inches. Both of mine were the same. Now, I will say this. If you're new at this, I would recommend on your own, maybe doing it both ways and then seeing if you get the same answer both times. Hopefully this one was a little bit easier because it was smaller numbers. 66 cubic inches. Again, make sure you go back to the description, get those worksheets and practice. And I've gone over this in other videos, but I wanted to make sure you realize there are common mistakes. Sometimes we get that wrong dimension. Sometimes people make a mistake, and instead of saying cubic inches, they might say squared inches. Squared means it's flat. We use square units on flat 2D shapes or polygons. And over here, when we have three-dimensional, then we say cubic inches. Also, people may mix up the different dimensions. You see how crazy that got, how many different numbers we had. So that's an honest mistake. Use different colored pencils, circle them, whatever you need to do. Just remember, volume means the space inside of an object. The formula is length times width times height. And we always say cubic units. If you were given the measurement, it would be cubic feet, cubic millimeters, cubic inches. Always put that word first. Have fun practicing. I'll see you in the next video.